I'm going to take a moment and walk you through the African Pattern Process Portfolio. So the directions slide is exactly the same as the previous video. There are 3 sections to this process portfolio. Please remember, you must have visuals. If there are no visuals included in this process portfolio, it will result in a minimal grade. So the first section is the history and artistic inspiration. I've got a little bit of information here on this slide where it kind of talks about, the history of the movement and the artist. It's a good idea to look back at those Google Slides for the original project. I will have those linked on the Google Classroom. You may find yourself wanting to expand upon that information, so you may want to do a little additional research. That's totally fine in this situation. You should also explain to me which particular patterns you were drawn to. Was it a pattern? Was it a culture? Was it what the patterns symbolized? So explain to me why you liked the things that you liked. About 2 to 3 paragraphs is right for this section, and I would include images that are examples of the patterns that you found intriguing. I've chosen 2 here. You may have more than that. If that is true, please think about the layout and how many patterns you can reasonably fit on this slide. Again, if you need more space, you can always duplicate this slide and add more information and more images. In the process section, you're going to again describe the steps you took to complete the project. Talk about the things that you discovered on your experimentation page. Was there something that you did you really liked? Or was there something you did that you really did not like and decided not to include in your final project? How did you decide what to include in your final project? Did you take bits and pieces from all the different experimentation you did? Or was there one whole experimentation section that you really liked and expanded upon that for your final project? What were the steps that you took to actually lay out your project? Remember, do not bullet point your steps. I don't want to see step 1, I did this. Step 2, then I did this. Step 3. This should be in paragraph form. You should be writing in formal language here. How did you put the color on? What tools did you use? What were the mediums that you worked with on this project? Did you work in paint? Did you work with markers? Did you work with pencils, glue, rulers? What did you do to actually get the project completed? Just like for the first slide, 2 to 3 paragraphs is about right. And include those images. For the reflection, that is pretty self-explanatory at this point in time. You guys have done lots and lots of reflecting. So what did you learn? If there was a mistake you made, how would you avoid that mistake in the future? How well do you think your piece connected to your inspiration? Is there something that you would have done differently to make that connection stronger? Are you happy with the final project? You have to explain these things to me. Again, paragraphs, complete sentences. Again, like the first 2 slides, 2 to 3 paragraphs is about sufficient for this section. Please make sure that you are including an image of your completed project. And that's it. That's the entire process portfolio. If you have any questions, please make sure that you're scheduling office hours, asking during class time, sending me a remind or an email.